Watch Radio NYC and Night Blink Events proudly presents the 3rd edition of Country on the Water. It's all going down on Sunday, December 7th on board the King of Carnival. Boarding at Obez Seraphim from 10 a.m. Early bird tickets cost $100. Regular $120. Featuring your DJs Selector Jerry, DJ Leroy, DJ Rambo, DJ Bucker, DJ Steve, and the Fabulous Kid. Get those tickets before they're all sold out. For tickets and more info, call up 712-1022 or 728-7828. Sunday, December 7th, Country on the Water. It's not just a boat ride, it's an experience. Don't miss the energy, the vibes, and the ride of the year.
Excuse me, would you mind if I sat down?
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City C opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Wonderful Thursday afternoon to you, everyone. It is, let me see, don't tell me, you know. What's the date of today, Jaquan? The 13th, right? Gotcha. Got myself. It is the 13th day of the month of November 2025. And this is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside my co-host, co-producer, Terry Fenelon. and our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Hope you're having a good day so far as the countdown continues to the big day, to that great Monday coming right at the beginning of the month of December. But before that, we of course have just a few days from now, 8 more days to go. Friday of next week is going to be nomination day. So we'll know who really is going to be on the ballot. Now, just for our general education, if we have a situation of nomination, and let's just pull something out of the hat quickly. An unlikely situation. But if Shanda Harak Singh is the only person who shows up to file the nomination papers, all right? Nobody else shows up. Alan Shasti doesn't show up. There are no independents, nothing like that. Then, there being only one nominee, I believe the returning officer is empowered. I don't know within what time frame, whether they have to wait until polling day or whether they can do it before. But if there are no opposing or counter or accompanying nominations, then it means that the seat, by default, gets declared for the person who came and filed nomination, was accepted, and every other thing legal has taken place. On the other hand, even if the main candidate does not show up, like say, for example, if Elisha Norbert doesn't show up, or if Jeremiah Norbert doesn't show up, and Elisha Norbert shows up, and the other people, I heard there are many other independents, Michael St. Catherine, it still has to go to the ballot. It doesn't get declared because nobody knows how St. Catherine and whoever else is in the race and so on might perform, so it has to go. But the thing is that if there's only one nominee that shows up on nomination day at whatever the nomination center is, the closest one to us here, I think, is the CSA building in San Souci, if I remember. It has been for, what's that? Just a few yards away. That is in Central Castries, of course. So if on that day only Mr. Richard Frederick shows up and Ross Clark doesn't show up and the Orange Man doesn't show up and so on, then the seat gets declared for Richard Frederick. Like I said, I'm not clear how long after the nomination day, if it can be done on the same day or 7 days after, or you wait until polling day and you make it whatever. But if there's only one nominee, it means there's only one winner in that situation. Folks, I always say that the sanctity of life is something that we in the media, we recognize, we uphold, we respect. Many people don't give us the credit for that. They believe we like sensation and so on. But the news is very sad about a young lady in the Bexon, or Mark area, is it? Yes, Mark area, who lost her life because of what people say. I haven't seen any official police statement yet, but it is being claimed that it is the result of stray bullets because of some shooting that took place in the area. It's my understanding that quite a lot of shots were fired. I'm not going to put up a picture on the screen, even though it's on social media. One of the reasons I don't want to put it up, it's too heartbreaking because she's so beautiful, beautiful, good looking, well dressed, well kept woman and so on. You can see she looks fairly young and so on, but who knows what she leaves behind, whether there's not one or two children who will now be without their mother, or whether there is not a husband or boyfriend, family, mother, father, and so on. And that is the thing with criminals. When you see they act, they have absolutely no mindfulness about who they're affecting, who they're, they just don't care. It's what they want to do. It's their own gratification. It's their own objectives that they want to be realized, which is why I lay into people who behave certain ways on the roads. They do those things and it's like, they really don't care who they're affecting with their bright white LED lights at high beam, plus fog lights, plus this and that and the other. These people are just there for their own gratification, what makes them feel good. And then they have an accident, and all the hurry they're in the hurry, it just evaporates right away. Because, on our roads now, you have an accident, traffic grinds to a halt, police have to come, measurements have to be taken, a whole lot of things have to happen. So I just want to say that. Having lamented the loss of life, Terry, I think, wants to send a little shout out to somebody who is observing their birthday today. It's sad that on the very day that someone leaves us, that we also have to understand that life goes on and to wish happy birthday to someone.
Yes, I should have done that this morning in my program, and it slipped me. I think I got so excited and carried away.
About what?
Oh, St. Jude. We'll talk about that, man. Just sending out birthday greetings to the Honorable Stevenson King. A man, well, what's his nickname? The Heavy Ruler. And there'll be some heavy ruling in Castries North very soon.
The general, the film
general, yes,
of the big blue wave.
Yes, man.
Yes.
Blue Wave.
Yes.
So, birthday greetings to you, comrade.
As a matter of fact,
All
I
the
must try
best.
to remember to give him a call. In spite of us saying it on this program, to wish him happy birthday. You know, quite a good man to be around. Even when we're bitterly opposed to him politically. But you know, he's never a man with any bile or malice or ill will or that kind of
Right.
You know, he'll still smile, he'll still meet you and talk to you. Always that nice kind of person.
That's right.
Yes.
That's my experience with him. Eh?
Yes.
So I just want to wish him all the best. And hopefully the people of Castries North will give him a birthday present. A delayed one on the 1st of December.
Right. Honorable Stevenson King, our best wishes to you, and we hope you will be with us for a very, very long time still to come. Your contribution to St. Lucia, to politics, to government, to representation, to the constituencies, the communities that you have represented, no matter how begrudging someone may be, no matter how prejudiced they may be, that cannot be denied in terms of, you know, how your heart and soul and mind and full commitment of genuineness and sincerity has been in it. Now, folks, yesterday we spoke about Dr. Claudius Previll, an economist, one of us, a man from Babono, a man who, by the way, understands Creole and can speak it. He may not speak it as well as myself and Terry because of his many years in academia and working overseas. You know, sometimes when you get separated from it, a little removed and so on, it's not as fresh and as light on your tongue as it normally would be. But that's not the issue with him. His perspectives that he brings are very well informed by a man who studies the issues that he concerns himself with. He teaches them. He has in trade negotiations and so many other things. I'm trying to call him. He did say he would be willing to do an interview with us, and the phone seems to have connected. Dr. Previll, good afternoon to you. This is Shelton Daniel calling you live on air at MBC Television and Real FM Radio.
Hey Shelton, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about you? You know, you've been missed by many people. I gave such a hype about a very special guest speaker who was going to be, you know, at Corinth on Tuesday night, I think.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I didn't want to name the person, but I wanted him to be a total surprise. And then afterwards, I had to come and say, okay, he couldn't make it back to St. Lucia in time. And then I had to say, it's Dr. Claudius Previll I was talking about. So today might well be the little attempt to make up for that.
Let's see what we can do, right? Let's see what we can do.
Okay,
How
all
is
right.
it going?
Oh, going great, and I'm having you all the better. I'm accompanied on the program as my co-host, Mr. Terence Fenelon. I know his days as the principal of the Babono Secondary School would have been after the days where you passed through, darkened the doors of a secondary school, but I'm sure he's someone that you know, so maybe you might just want to say hello to each other at the opening.
Certainly. Hi, Terence. How are you doing?
All right, man. I'm cool there. Happy that you are on. I know we were supposed to have you live, but that's okay.
Yes, I'm sure we'll do a live very soon. In the coming weeks, no problem.
Okay, I don't know what kind of live you're talking about, but you are live with us right now anyway. Okay, Dr. Previll, the announcement of the election, as someone who analyzes and studies things, did it take you by surprise? And if it did, what kind of time period or time frame or date would you have had in mind until the Prime Minister said that they can't read him, you know, came out on Sunday and announced that we are going to the polls on December 1st?
December 1st. Okay, you know, well, to be honest, I was expecting an announcement to coming out very soon because it had been some time. PM had been saying to everybody, any 7 days, any 21 days from now, from a Monday, there will be an election. So I think he had already placed everyone on high alert. And it was evident that all the preparatory work was being done. The pilots were being launched across the country. And also importantly, I think the government's own work was being done. All the different projects, etc., that had been promised during implementation were coming toward the end as well. So I think that the writing was on the wall. It was a matter of precisely when he was going to call it. And what most of us who were discussing it at some point were saying that, look, for sure it will not be way into December because that's going to disturb people's Christmas activities. And there is also the myth, that the odd years go to the Labour Party and the even years go to the Youth LDP. So I don't think PM would have taken the risk, to call it in 2026, even if it's constitutional with you, all the way down to 2026, past July, you have the other 3 months and so on. So, so all things being equal, I am not surprised. I expected him to call it somewhere late November, early December. And at some point, it was not possible late November anymore. So it had to be sometime early in December.
All right. One of the very exciting developing, unfolding features of this election campaign has been not just the knowledge that certain people who were formerly associated with the United Workers' Party and now associated with the SLP, but their public coming out on platform. And this has been most notable in what I like to call your home community, your community of origin, Babuno, where we have seen the brother of a former UWP minister, Edmund Estefan, a former UWP candidate, Andy Daniel, not just coming out in support of their brother, but coming out on platforms of the St. Lucia Labour Party and really rooting for it powerfully. How much of a decider or game changer do you believe this is likely to be in this general election?
Well, certainly, I think that speaks volumes because when you have persons who used to be affiliated with the United Workers' Party most of their life, if not all their lives, suddenly taking the other side and coming out very openly, it says a lot. And I think it says a lot about where that party is at now, and the fact that people in general see that this is a lost cause. I mean, you have the leadership of that party who is totally out of touch with what's happening. I tell people, I did an interview with Bernard Tralis in 2021 after the UWP lost the election. And he was asking me about options and possibilities and so on. And I said to him, he made a statement, they said, when you lose, you should never lose the lesson. Okay? Lose is one thing, but to lose the lesson is something else.
Very good point.
And clearly, I think they have lost the lesson. So they're set to lose yet again. Now, of course, anything can happen in election, but I mean, all things being equal, I think we have a government that has worked extremely hard, extremely well. Prime Minister Philip J.Pierre has delivered so much in such a little time frame, and I've heard the debate. People are saying, some are saying, well, how much has he really delivered? Has he delivered more than Prime Minister X or Y or Z? Personally, looking at even his achievement record, I think for any 1 4-year, 5-year term, he is certainly among the prime ministers we have had who has delivered, if not the most, certainly a lot in 5 years in comparison to others. So, he's very popular. He's doing great stuff. The youth are excited by his energy. And it's very clear that the country is on the right trajectory. So when you have the other side coming in with all the negative baggage from before, they made zero attempt to reform things. For example, yes, I see them bringing in a few people on the sidelines who have a little more qualifications, academic qualifications and professional experience, in 1 or 2 areas. But they have no role in the leadership structure of the party. And it says to me that what they are looking at is dumping the same old leadership package they had from 2016 and then 2021. They want to bring that same package, lock, stock and barrel, through this new election and tell the people of St. Lucia, here is your change. I mean, well, if that's the change we are getting, we're not getting anything at all. You understand? So, I am not at all surprised that you're seeing these meteoric shifts. I myself, I made my shift since 2021, and I'm not going anywhere else because, as far as I see, I made the right decision. You understand? And I'm not surprised now. I see Andy Daniel joining with his brother. I understand that I did not know before that Esteban and Andy Daniel were related. I see Andy is there. I see Edmund Esteban is there, and so on.
And
So
Edmund
I think certainly,
Estefan doing something pretty dramatic, isn't it? Coming up with what seemed to be a white overcoat and then taking it out and then reveal his red shirt underneath, and that seemed to have made Andy Daniel totally ecstatic. He was on fire at Simon earlier, but I mean on this occasion in Castres East in the Prime Minister's constituency, himself, John Paul Estefan, Edmund Estefan doing the remove the white and put over the red and so on. I mean, it really is one of those things that I believe would whet people's appetite even more to see Claudius Preble in action likewise, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you know. So yeah, I think it's definitely powerful. It's a powerful statement, and it's not even shelter not only those on the platforms. I mean, the bottom line to it that you have people, even those who are not speaking out publicly on platforms, even the machinery, the people who've been traditionally in the background, you know, doing the stuff for the United Spanish. Many of those two have left. You know, they have either left or they're just totally inactive. They say we're just sitting on the fence to wait until this thing reforms because it's going nowhere. You understand? So I hope, but I don't think they've gotten the message because they're still putting out this rhetoric that hey, somehow they're winning the election. You know, ring the bell. They won the election, bell rang, and so on. But I think you'll start hearing different things now that the PM has actually set the date. Because I saw somewhere where Shafni was saying, well, you know, why he rang the bell so early? He still had another 6+ months to go. So why are you ringing the bell? But he was asking for the bell to be rung forever, you understand? So I'm wondering now exactly how they are going to respond. Even at the situation at hand is that elections will be there in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. If I were to ask you, what do you consider to be between 1 and 3, 1, 2, and 3 issues that can turn out or will turn out to be election deciders? As an economist, as someone who's surveyed and studied and looked at, you know, the lay of the land and to see how the wind is blowing, what would be considered to between 1 to 3 major issues that can turn out to be the election deciders in the end?
Well, certainly number one is the economy, right? The number one is the economy, and the question is not just the economy as we measure it in terms of growth, and we say economic growth took place of X%, the Y%. Can people feel the growth in their pockets, right? And that's the first question. Do you have more disposable income? Are you better off now than you were, 5 years before, and so on? So these are the kind of questions people will be asking themselves, and I think the answer is an overwhelming yes. In terms of certainly, you look at the public service, all of what has happened there, whether it's from the pensioner down to the active public service people now, they've gotten their back pay, they've gotten all different checks at different points in the system, and there's more to come as Christmas comes around the corner. So, are you getting more disposable? Do you have more disposable income in the pockets? Yes, absolutely. The other thing I think that defines any society in terms of their demands, especially a developing economy like ours, the issues like education and healthcare. Okay, education-wise, I think this administration has done perhaps more than any other, again in a single term. In terms of some trivialize it and they say, well, from 2 CXCs to 4 CXCs. But let me tell you something, what people don't understand, there are so many households, so many families that can't even afford to pay 1 CXC for the child when the time comes, or 2 CXCs. So those who don't live through that experience, they're not in a position to assess its value and its impact. But those who know the reality will tell you, boy, if I already have 4 things for my child, I only need 1 more. And that child will work for the government. Or I only need about 2 more, and that child will go to A-level college and eventually university, etc. You understand? So that is the reality of St. Lucia. And this instrument is now available to every single household, not just Flamo labor household. Every child who qualifies in that age group, in that age category, has access to that facility. Not to mention other things like early childhood and other areas like where I think is also important, but let's use the CXC. I see again, they're trying to make some noise about healthcare. You know, well, the PM promised to deliver St. Jude, and we're getting a building. Well, you're getting a building, you're not getting a shell that Guy Joseph was trying to show us, in 2021.
Yes.
You have a building that is fully developed, fully commissioned, ready to go. You understand? So what you're looking at now is simply transferring people, from the old facility to the new facility, getting everything in place. There is furniture there and fittings. Reno has showed us detailed photographs of what's inside that building. And I think respect for official handover. Is it the 16th of this month? So, if you ask me, I think the what really matters most in terms of the kind of bread and butter issues for the Harvest Solution, those things are well covered by the administration. Other things, would be add-ons. They might be important to people like me, things like CIP and investment flows and other things. That is also important. But when it comes to what resonates with the average Dean and Joe in St. Lucia, I think these areas are well covered by the administration.
All right. When it comes to the personalities of the two political leaders, the one who's now Prime Minister and the one who's now leader of the opposition, is this the factor that outweighs all others, do you think? Because Alan Chastanet juxtaposed against Philip J. Pierre, not only in terms of competence and performance and qualifications, but just sheer personality, what they exude and how they're perceived by people. Do you believe that this is a major factor as well?
Absolutely. It's an invisible, intangible factor. It's not like a direct thing in terms of what someone puts on your table in terms of results of the actual work. But yes, connecting to the electorate. Philip Pierre just walks into a room. He does not have to make a fuss or any effort to connect. People automatically gravitate to him. Philip Pierre goes into a setting where you have cultural events taking place, so there is some Lawas or Magritte or whatever. He automatically sits and people gravitate to him. By contrast, Alan Chastanet goes there and he stands out like a sore thumb. He has to make a special effort to join the group. He can't relate. And I tell you something, this is not any kind of discrimination, but you see relatability. When you have a leader who you cannot relate to, you cannot see yourself in that individual. It's a big challenge for that person, right? And he sometimes wants to think of himself like a John Compton, Compton was whatever. So he looks a bit like, if you wish, Compton in terms of, typically he looks a bit. But Compton was a guy who blended. He was a farmer. He was with the people. He spoke Creole. Not that one has to speak Creole to be St. Lucia's Prime Minister. But what I'm saying is, Compton would go into a bar. I would meet Compton places like in Forestier, under the banana trees. That's okay. And he was not putting up a show. He was naturally that. You understand? So, I think in terms of relatability, the average solution, I'm hearing it over and over, whether it's the taxi drivers, teachers, people say, no, we can relate better to Philip than we can do it. Because Alan is just, they see Alan as, okay, he's a solution, but he's not really one of us. They don't see him in the way they see someone like Philip or any other MP for that matter. The connection is not there.
The sense of socio-cultural identification. All right. My co-host may want to chip in for a question or two. Right. No, he says that's okay. All right. Yeah. I didn't want to hog it all up for myself.
You're doing a fine job there.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Preble, is there anything further not touched upon by my questions that maybe you have been rearing or itching to talk about? Perhaps something you would have said at Corinth on Tuesday if you had been there. I see you've been pretty hard hitting on your Facebook page. You've been dropping this little, these little graphics there with some very pointed and poignant words at them. So do you care to just tell us some of those things that have really been stirring you up?
Of course, I am riled up by some of the stuff because, first of all, let's go back to the economy and economic growth. It's people try to make excuses, but it's so clear that Chastney inherited an economy in 2016. Kenny left him an economy that was doing about 3.5% or so in terms of growth. Right? By the following year, it dropped to about 3.2, and then the year after 3.1. By 2019, the economy was already plunging into negative territory. As a matter of fact, I made a mistake in terms of the number I quoted for 2019 because there were about 2 or 3 sources. I had seen a previous source, I think it was from the Article 5 of the World, the IMF consultation, that had given it 1.5. But it was revised downwards subsequently. It went down to negative 0.5. And then, of course, the COVID impact was negative 23. Some sources put negative 24 as the extent of economic contraction. Now, I want to say a point on this because some people will say that don't put COVID at the doorstep because COVID was an externality. Yes, it was an externality. However, let us look at what happened even before COVID became an issue. Okay? 2019, the economy was already in free fall. You were already at negative 0.5, negative something or the other. COVID only exacerbated it, and essentially that's what happened was the economic base was so weak by the time it had spent 3 years at Chastney's hands. By the 4th year, which was the COVID year, the economy was into free fall. You fast forward, 3 years later, you bring in Philip in 2021, growth resumes, right? You have 11%. COVID was still in there, by the way, in 2021, but the economic growth had already resumed because tourism numbers started coming back. And then by 2022, we had a full recovery, another 19%. So we're back to our original economy plus, right? Mm-hmm. And since then, economic growth has gone back to what it conventionally is about in St. Lucia, 4 or 5% range. So you could see that there is prudential management where the administration is concerned. And with the Chastney economy, I'm sorry to say, with or without COVID, it's from all indication we were plunging into deep negative territory, and would have felt it very hard in the pockets and in the mortgages, their houses, and everything. The other thing I want to say, and I'm hearing it being bantered around a lot about the CIP, the Citizenship by Investment Program. Again, this is something that the public needs to understand, right? You have, for example, the original CIP of 2015 provision that any economic citizen, any new economic citizen had to have a minimum net worth of 3 million United States dollars. 3 million. And the citizenship itself would cost in the region of 300,000 United States dollars. And there was a reason for this, Sheldon. Mm-hmm. The cost of citizenship is direct revenue into the pockets of the government's coffers, right? So that is a one-off payment the government gets. But you are actually, what you're doing with this program, and I want to edify some institutions, what you're doing with this program, you are trying to transform St. Lucia's economy by bringing in new investment flows, not only in money, but in ideas, in creation, and other things. So that if you have someone with a minimum net worth of, say, $3 million, that individual is able to, subsequent to becoming a citizen, that individual is in a position to invest another, let's say, $500,000 or $1 million or $250,000 in a venture. Most likely something aligned to what the individual earned his or her wealth doing in the past. Okay? So then you have that real economic activity being introduced into the economy beyond just the passport, the citizenship, the president. Chastney clearly missed the point because he seemed to think you can have zero net worth. And he modified the law, and go and look at the laws and regulations. They're on the CIT website, by the way. He actually modified the law and the regulations so that the net worth requirement became non-existent. Well, if you have someone who gets our passports and they have no net worth, what can they invest in St. Lucia? They can't make an investment, right? Yeah. So they just become passport holders, and they can become economic burdens for us down the road because they have no money themselves. So that is one of the things. The other thing with the CIP he did, and he did a lot of damage in the law, in the law and the regulations there. The actual cost of the citizenship itself, the small revenue you get in the short term, the 300,000. That was written down to 100,000, and on the certain categories, but you have 4 categories under which you can get citizenship. On the certain categories, it's down to about 50,000. So how can you be selling our passports like Balawu, you know? Mamala says, go to look at me, that kind of mentality. When this is supposed to be something that the average, see the person out there, the average person who is acquiring our citizenship, they want to know it is something prestigious, something coveted, not something every Joe and Jane gets. So if it is being sold for $50,000 and $100,000, it's going to, well, boy, that is not something I really want. Dubai has a program where they have not citizenship, but they have residency. With them, it's about $500,000 US. We need to be aligned in the vicinity of that in terms of the cost of our citizenship, and not something that is being sold for you know, a penny here and a penny there. So the understanding, of course, then you had even worse, accountability factor. The fact that one had to go back to the parliament, tell the people of St. Lucia every so often how many citizenships we've given, who we gave them to, who are those people. The people have a right, and it's an obligation as far as we are concerned. We have to know those things. You do know, again, that provision was removed from the regulation under his watch. And by the way, by himself, and he was the direct minister for the CIP.
Okay.
It's not the case with the administration now where Prime Philippe is not the minister handling CIP. It is, you know, it's Dr. Hillary. But he himself was handling the CIP, and he himself tabled all those amendments to the regulations to essentially rebase our CIP program. And now he comes in the parliament and he goes all over the place. He goes on radio and TV, and he makes it seem as if it's something the Labour Party has done to the CIP that is it my situation.
Yeah.
I mean, this is laughable, and you know, this is so disingenuous on his part, because, as I said, the facts. And anybody listening to this program, they can go and find the laws, find the regulations. They will see who made which modifications when, right?
Yes.
To our CIP regulations and laws, and they will know what Shafton did versus what the current administration has done.
Yes.
And I think that should be put to bed once and for all, because there's too much dishonesty where this guy is concerned with that program. Not to mention another big one, by the way, the big red herring here. The fact that he gave to you know, whoever it was, the power to open the bank account, the escrow account abroad, and to keep the money abroad under his sole control, that is a total blatant violation of our Finance Act.
Certainly.
You know?
Certainly.
Because the revenues from this thing supposed to be going into the consolidated fund. How
Certainly.
can you put those revenues in the control of foreigners in a foreign territory? We have no, as far as I'm aware, no St. Lucian was a co-signatory. Like, for example, our director of finance or PS of finance or someone. No St. Lucian was a co-signatory. You had an account abroad in the name of an investor, and he's collecting all the revenue for St. Lucian and spending the money as he feels like.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you, this thing just didn't work on too many fronts, and we cannot have our country be managing this manner.
Certainly. Thank you so very much, Dr. Claudius Brazil. We really appreciate it. I would have liked to go into some other matters with you. You mentioned the dishonesty. We're also seeing it on full display with respect to St. Jude. An address to the nation, Shastny gives the impression that the delay in St. Jude was all under and by and caused by the Labour Party, and it was all of that. He references everything in the context of blame for the Labour Party. I don't know who he thinks he's talking to, but I know the people of St. Lucia, I think, are adequately informed on these matters, and you have been not wanting in terms of helping to ensure that accurate information is put out there. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for that, and I'm happy to be doing that, because you see, elections, I tell you something. I tell people, when the UWP goes around and says nothing has been done by the Labour Party in the last 4.5 years, I say, well, if that is your message, think of who your listeners are. That message might click with your base, and not only your base, your diehards, right? We have a
the poto flabo.
Yeah. You know, these are the only people who will listen. But they listen to anything you say as a leader, right? You see, politics is like this. In my view, if you are serious in a campaign, You can take any of the issues that the government has been working with in the past 4.5 years. You can put that issue on the table and you can tell the population, well, they did so and so in this area, right? We will do something different. We will do the following things to enhance what they did, or we'll do it differently from them. When you start telling the population nothing, I see some propaganda about the youth, nothing was done for the youth and so. Well, I'm sorry. When you have a youth economy agency, where you have thousands of young people who have actually received grants, they have actually been to conferences where they got mentorship and programs and so on to build their businesses. You cannot come and tell them somehow you got nothing from the government.
Yeah.
Maybe you can try to tell them, if you were there, we are going to do, we'll double the budget you have. We will give you more of this or that. But when you come and start telling them, well, they did nothing for you, vote for us, we will want to do something. I think you lose that audience completely. I think, frankly, the campaign approach, they think they're probably scoring points by just trying to wish away what the administration has done. That is going to backfire very hard on them, because the people will say, hello, this does not resonate with my reality. You guys obviously talking nonsense. I am not even going to look at you. And I think that's where they find themselves right now, just talking to the wind and say, they should at least, and I have to say this, I'm saddened by where the UWP is now in terms of the quality of debate, whether you're in opposition or government. Political parties have to be relevant in terms of the messaging that comes to the people of St. Lucia. And there is no effort being made in that party right now to get correct, accurate information on the basis of which you deliver your debate. Okay? It is appalling. All they do is make me and move along. They cannot, for example, even talk about the postings I've been making on Facebook. I post factual with you. A few of the people come there and say, okay, they call me all names under the universe, right? Because I'm posting facts. Not one of them can say, okay, I looked at what you said on the CIP, I looked at the law, and actually you were correct, and I think that was a mistake. So we'll do this differently next. Nobody comes with logical thinking. Everybody just comes with this kind of draconian ideas. And somehow we're supposed to say, oh yes, this is a party that is going to save us. And so, I mean, I'm sorry it is not resonating. And if I could give them some free advice, I would tell them at least go and put a campaign message that the people of St. Lucia will be willing to listen to, beyond your diehard, your hacks, as we call them. Otherwise, you've just lost your audience.
Okay, Dr. Breville, tempted as I am to ask you, but I think it would devalue, the dynamic of our discussion if I were to ask you whether this has had any concerning impact on the family dynamics. But it is clear that you are a man, you put country, you put people before anything like blood ties and so on. And I think our admiration and respect for you in that regard has grown considerably. So I will hold back a question which many might consider to be natural.
Country, because listen, at the end of the day, the family itself lives in the country.
Yeah.
So if the country is in a mess, you may have to relocate all the families, all together. So I know some have differing views from me on this issue, but I think the evidence I have, the information I have, I believe we have the right administration in office. And by the way, I want to make the point again. I began to openly support Philip JPA in 2021, the general election. He and I we sat and we discussed. And the point is important is that they were in opposition at the time. And we had this vindictive leader in power. So I did not just jump on the bandwagon like some people do when they see a party is doing well in power, all of a sudden everybody jumps in. No. Because you see, for me, going back to the 2016 election, when you had all this, and I want to make a point about the 2016 election, it's important for the St. Lucians to remember. In 2016, we had characters like Rick Whale, who had spent a lot of time beating up on Kenny Anthony for his crime against St. Lucia, which was Rheinberg, right? And among other things. So Kenny's popularity sank to an all-time low. Even polls that were done at the time were showing that Kenny was losing the election and so. So, but imagine even then, the St. Lucian people were not coalescing around Shastney. Down to the wire, the election was still up for grabs. Okay? And one guy called Stevenson King is when Stevenson King jumped on a platform in Babalu and he said, "You pay," right?
Mm-hmm.
That is when Thabo base were energized and they came back and started to support that guy reluctantly. People start saying, well, they saw what he had done in tourism when he was a minister. Remember back in 2006?
Yes.
So John gave him the portfolio. People saw all the wastage, all the things he had done.
Yes.
People were scared of him at that point.
All the boxing in Paradise and Food and Rum Festival and all those things. And the mass and a 10 for $1 million, yeah.
Nothing came out of it. And and what happened in Shelton? A lot of solutions then said, you know what? Let us give him a chance, because we have a saying, share back at their shots. What they mean by that in this context? What they mean is that Michael, the father, has done great work, and I have a lot of admiration and respect for Michael in terms of his contribution to television. So people say, well, okay, if Michael was so good, the son cannot be so bad. Let's give the son a chance, right? So gradually, people were coalescing around him. But the Stevenson King factor was so critical in my view. In fact, I will go as far as saying that one factor is what accounted for at least 50%, if not 75% of the victory that took that party in 2016.
Yes.
But if Steve had held out, if the base could not have identified what they were seeing there, the guy Joseph and Alan Shaston, the base would have not voted for that party.
Okay.
That explains why they won, but it's just a 11-6. They could not win if some, outlandish mandate, because the people were very uncertain where these guys were concerned. Okay? And the same guy now turns around and he listens to Stevenson King in the cabinet. He somehow believes that he won because it was of just him. His brilliance, his charisma, his whatever. I'm sorry, that was never the reason why he won. He was a compromised figure. People just went along with him because they didn't want Kenny. Kenny had committed too many political sins. Okay, they gave him the chance. That's all he had. But he did not understand the value of this. He went and he spent all his energy fighting Stevenson King. And of course, the rest is history.
All right.
Stevenson King eventually said, it's nonsense. You understand? So I just give that context to say, way back then, and some people who always say, oh, pretty sour grapes you have and so on. I was one of those persons after the leadership thing in 2014. I said, people who came to me and said, boy, Preville, they chose Shastney. I will not go into the shenanigans. I'm sure everybody know what happened behind the scenes. But that's not the program to talk about. I'm writing a book, by the way, I think on St. Lucian's politics, but that's not the time to talk about it.
Okay.
That suffice to say that I said, leave it alone, let the guys govern. And we all saw the travesty, what he was doing in Bang. So when Philip came to me in 2021 and we discussed St. Lucian's way forward, I said, look, under no circumstance will I support Shastney to be returned as a prime minister. And that is my position to this very day.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to make it very clear. I don't want to go short of the visit Leandra. Never. Shastney has to know I am one of those voters. I will never support him. How he fashions himself, who he associates with, how he tries to steal my thinking. I do my thinking for myself based on data and evidence, and he is not the individual I will ever support personally. Neither will I champion his cause and ask anyone on to vote for him, right? There's one message from me to vote for Philip Chipe and all the members of the Labour Party on every platform in the coming elections.
Thank you very much, Dr. Preville. It's nice to know that long before Leandra George Fields vocalized and verbalized it, that you had already conceptualized it, that when it comes to Shastney, never must we allow him again into the politics of St. Lucia, much less the seat of Prime Minister. Really appreciate your time, and we've gone way over our commercial break, but I think it was more than worth it. I hope it won't be too long again before we can have another conversation. All the best to you.
Thank you. All the best. All the best to you and take care. Good afternoon.
Thank you, my brother. All the best.
All right then.
All right.
Okay, economist Dr. Claudius Preville. And even though we have far exceeded the time for our commercial break, which we'll take now, I can understand the same people who want to be calling Stevenson King Snake. They took Neville Snake, Neville Snake, who was Snake long before you would even think of calling Stephenson King. They took Neville Snake and they made him what? Governor General, the highest office in St. Lucia, the one that attracts the highest pay, the one that attracts the best perks and the living conditions and allowances and all. They made Neville Snake to spite the people of St. Lucia. You know, after they had been spited, particularly the constituency of Labrie, you know, to see what this man did, and they made him minister and tried to big him up. And even after he lost, even after Shadell was mauled in 1992, you know, by Velon John in Labrie, Labour Party was still in opposition. They made the man president of the Senate. UWP has had a history of bigging up and glorifying the most snaky snake in St. Lucia, which was Neville Snake. Now you all want to call Stephenson King Snake? Yeah, we have your damn self. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We take a late commercial break. We'll be back shortly to take a couple of your calls, I think, and then we'll have to take a break much quicker than we normally would, because we got to make up for the one that we missed.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Watch Radio NYC and Night Blink Events proudly presents the 3rd edition of Country on the Water. It's all going down on Sunday, December 7th, on board the King of Carnival. Boarding at Obez Seraphim from 10 a.m. Early bird tickets cost $100, regular $120. Featuring your DJs, Selector Jerry, DJ Leroy, DJ Rambo, DJ Bucker, DJ Steve, and the Fabulous Kid. Get those tickets before they're all sold out. For tickets and more info, call up 712-1022 or 728-7828. Sunday, December 7th, Country on the Water. It's not just a boat ride, it's an experience. Don't miss the energy, the vibes, and the ride of the year.
Excuse me, would you mind if I sat down?
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boost your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22 next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters on this Thursday. It is the 13th day of the month of November 2025. Our program, as you know, is weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station Real FM 91.3 North, 91.5 South, simulcasting on NBC Television, Channel 120 Flow Cable TV service. We're available on Facebook Live and YouTube live streaming as well. I think we're going to open the phone line straight away, for your calls. And Frank Charles, if you're calling me so that you can speak, I'm on the air. Know that you should know that I'm on air, Frank. Okay, so let me see. We're getting the guy called Frank Charles. So I think he wants to be the first this afternoon. So I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Hold on. Call on the landline. Yeah, Frank.
Batch me in. Like let's hotel now. By show.
Okay, all right. Bado, nakwi over here because nunio lot mona le landline naka son ko comrade Dimac. So nakwi up way. Yeah. Did we lose that? Yeah, comrade, you're on the air now. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead, comrade.
Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. You're on the air, comrade. Go ahead.
Yeah.
There's a delay?
Yeah, don't wait to hear yourself. The delay will put you off. Just talk.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I sometimes consider myself to be absent in action, but don't worry about that aspect. There are other things at other levels that have to be. All what I want to really do this afternoon is to compliment the partner you had there a while ago, the Dr.
Prevail.
Yeah, Dr. Claudius Prevail.
The Claudius fellow you actually brought there. I think that interview was a master interview, and what he has actually revealed from his side as an economist with respect to the economic policies of Philip J. Pierre as compared to, I don't know, based on what he said there, I believe Alan Chasney in his term administration, I don't think he had an economic policy. And that, I believe, is a vital information that he has provided to the listening public so as to determine in themselves the situation we are in here now into the battle, I would call it a battle, as to which of the two parties, under Philip J. Pierre, which is in office now, and Alan Chasney, who is the leader of the opposition, and he was administered the government of St. Lucia in the past. The public of St. Lucia have to make a very clear analysis and understanding of that. To which of the two parties, the two governments, when you look at them, have actually performed, as I would say, with respect to the benefit and the welfare of the, although there are little kinks in the thing there, and they would raise it as far as the crime. But the way the fellow debunked this CIP question, that was amazing. And people probably don't realize, but that was amazing. I always thought of it. It was when Alan Chasney came into office. He changed the law, the legislation, with respect to what should obtain with the CIP. And man, you're a different man from now, and things so. That, I believe one of your said it in our program, I listened to it, I couldn't call at the time, that was an indictment on the leader of the opposition when he said he's a different man. Different one. There is an acceptance of some of the things that he's done, the transgressions, political and economic, that he actually think on solutions. And people ain't realizing them kind of things in what we are there now in terms of the battle. To my mind, my way of thinking, my brother, is that the whole thing is clear. But I'm not too sure. I can't really relate my mind and bring it down. I'm not down to, I don't want to sound disparaging and things. With other people, with respect to the choice that have been made. It's very, very clear. And as we go forward, you two guys, they have done some marvelous work in educating people on that. You all should continue as we go forward. And the other fella on the other program there in the morning, Jaim and the fellas, they're beautiful. So let's proceed and we'll see how the struggle develops. But the struggle is developing very nice and clear from my point of view.
Okay, thank you very much, comrade. Thanks a lot. All right, let's see if I can get the first gentleman who was trying to call us. If we don't have anybody else on the line right now, okay. So let's see if I can get Comrade Frank Charles here now.
Hey, Shelton.
Yeah, comrade. You're on the air right now. Go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon, Terry. Good afternoon,
Good afternoon, brother.
Shelton, to me, with 17 or 18 or 17 days to go now, I don't think mathematics and big figures will cut it. In simplistic terms, I have been, even in my small conversations and grouping, I have been juxtaposing the politics. And when you and I have conversations, and you always probably notice I always chipped in with a man and a woman relationship. I've heard people say that politicians should not come back and say that they're sorry and stuff like that. But I'll tell you something. After Alan Shastney said that he's a changed man, it reminded me, I have not gotten myself in that situation, but it reminded me of an abusive husband or an abusive woman. And they are obsessed with each other. So when the man leaves, that woman will say to that man, I've changed. And when he comes back in the relationship, same thing. And if you look at this man has proven us, even you, Shelton Daniel, all the St. Lucia public that have been criticizing him, correct. We told him that he was going the wrong way. The question is, should we trust him in coming back? And you know why we shouldn't trust him now? Because those that knew him better than us, like Estefan, the speaker, and other people that are branching out of the United Focus Party that were in bed with Shastney, saying to you, no, don't do that. On that basis, we're not supposed to accept him again. Because our leadership is Philip Japier versus Alan Shastney. The man in the relationship, he wants the woman, he does everything to keep that woman. Philip Japier has done everything to keep the people happy. And his policies are bottom up. So I don't think that a woman will leave Terry that is taking care of her well, Shelton was abusing her, to go back to Shelton. You don't do that. That just not making sense. So then if you take the math, let's do a little bit of math. If you take Alan Shastney's $75,000 per person, you take Tommy $20,000 per young person to give them a startup.
Yeah, wrap up because we have somebody else on the line waiting. Yeah.
Yes. You know, when you add the math, it's not nothing. Our country will crash. So the young people out there have to simplistic, as simple as we can. For them to understand. I don't think we need to big maths right now.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Sorry, I have my phone on speaker. Can you hear me better?
Okay, let's go to our commercial break. Because twice we've told her we're hearing us, so she's probably not hearing us. So let's cut that call and let's go to the commercial break because we have some catching up to do. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We'll be back after this commercial break.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Watch Radio NYC and Night Blink Events proudly presents the 3rd edition of Country on the Water. It's all going down on Sunday, December 7th on board the King of Carnival. Boarding at Obez Seraphim from 10 a.m. Early bird tickets cost $100, regular $120. Featuring your DJs, Selector Jerry, DJ Leroy, DJ Rambo, DJ Bucker, DJ Steve, and the Fabulous Kid. Get those tickets before they're all sold out. For tickets and more info, call up 712-1022 or 728-7828. Sunday, December 7th, Country on the Water. It's not just a boat ride, it's an experience. Don't miss the energy, the vibes, and the ride of the year.
Excuse me, would you mind if I sat down?
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
This is the Real Issues powered by Blue Waters on this Thursday, the 13th of November 2025 with me, Shelton Daniel, alongside Terry Fenelon. And we just want to say that in the last few minutes, we've been receiving calls and messages saying that Alan Chastney seems to be meandering about town, just walking kind of aimlessly.
Oh my God.
A leader who looks like he more needs to be led than he can lead people. With no more than 12 to 15 people following him around, doing what I suppose would be called walkabout campaigning, just walking about, decked out in their yellow and just walking about. I don't know if that's supposed to have a hypnotic effect, on people and so on. Or I don't know if it's the kind of thing that people do when they've been doing Majinwe and Gashi, they knock them. I'm just being facetious here, okay? Just take that as a joke. I don't mean it seriously. It's not a Bolam, it's not a Bolam conversation that I'm looking to have. But I think we have a call on the line. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead. Hi, Real Issues. Yeah, Real Issues, you're on the air. Yeah, we got to cut that one off. Folks, let me tell you this. When you call the program, now I know sometimes you have your device, so it helps know, but the moment the call connects, turn down the volume or your device or mute it altogether, because if not, you'll be trying to follow yourself, whether your voice is coming through, whether our voice is coming through, and it'll put you off. The delay is going to put you off. So don't bother about it. Once you get the call, it clicks, it connects, and you hear me talking to you, turn down the volume of your device. We have another caller on the landline. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm fine. And Mr. Terry.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Alan Chastney was given $1.6 million for the 4 years that he spent as representative for Mico South. Because $400,000 every year. If nothing is being done in Mico South, I've always asked myself whether he's using these monies to fight government and Ernest Healer in the courts. Because he took 4 lawyers to the CCJ. And I can bet my bottom dollar this man is not using his monies to fight these cases. And he has no shame. You were given a mandate as a former prime minister. And you were making financial transactions on our behalf. With no record of these transactions, you didn't want us to know what was taking place in these transactions. Because you always blasting the government on transparency. There you were in Parliament, you had a chance to prove how transparent you are. When Richard Frederick said you paid a certain amount to Hudson Young, you said no. So the speaker questioned you and told you whether you could tell the amount to the nation that you paid to Hudson Young. He refused to say because he didn't want us to know what went in that record. So he said that it is for the government to know because it's the government that is in power. The government did not do these transactions. The burden of proof was on you. And how could the government know when you covered your tracks? Because Philip JPS said there's no record of that contract you did with Lockerbie. Nowhere. And before the 2021 elections, you bought 8 shredders because you had lots of secrets to hide. And every financial transaction that is made on behalf of government, that must be recorded, documented for evidence and future reference. And you never wanted us to know what was taking place, and you have no shame, and you want to come and present yourself for office again. Well, it has to do with trust between 2 individuals. Why would I remove a man that is honest and trustworthy and delivering to put a compulsive liar that must still give an account for hundreds of millions of our dollars. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. I think we have another caller waiting. Hi. Good afternoon. Real Issues. You're on the air.
Hi. Good afternoon, both of you.
Good afternoon.
Hi. Good afternoon.
A few Sundays ago, Tommy Descott promised all the youth that they would give them the deposit as a first-time home owner. Today, when questioned to explain how it worked, Tommy Descott said it will be in the form of a revolving loan, so they will pay back the money. My question is, if you give a revolving, and he said they would not pay interest on the revolving loan, but my question is, if you give an interest-free on a revolving loan, how would that be sustainable? Because let's say you pay 20 people, the same 20 people will just be putting money and taking it, but how will you add other people to it? I do not understand what he was saying. You cannot have and if you have a revolving loan and a mortgage, that is two separate accounts. So you will be paying back on your revolving loan and your mortgage. If you could explain that to me, I would be happy. And I don't know if you all know that Roch Clark is the shadow minister of housing.
Of course, yes, because he's shadowing the Minister of Housing. Or so it seems. All right, it's only me when nomination day come and I see Rush go and get nominated. Will I say the UWP doesn't have some plan? Well, Alan Shasta doesn't have some plan for Rush that Rush doesn't know about, that he's absolutely clueless. You know, his head is in the TC and the DC and the spin. Anyway, we're still taking your calls. 4879849, that's the number on which you can WhatsApp call us, and we have someone on the landline. You're on the air, go ahead. Hello? Yeah, did we mute the person or something? Oh, yeah, it's kind of a little difficult to be doing it. Maybe that's the same person calling back, so let's try to get them. Real Issues, you're on the air, go ahead. Hi.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Sheldon, one thing, Shasney and his crew really believe Lucians are stupid, you know.
Speak up a bit for us.
I said one thing, Shasney really believes that Lucians are stupid and he can fool them, you know.
I don't believe he believes that anymore, you know. I think right now he realizes that St. Lucians, he can't fool them. I think what we see now in Chasney is desperation. Total desperation. Yeah.
The government has the youth economy, which is 5,000 grant and the balance is loan, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's coming there and telling people that he's gonna give people $25,000 grant. Do you really believe that will happen?
I don't know.
Even with that the first time
homeowners
mortgage.
Yes.
Do you believe that will happen?
But he's already changing his tune.
I believe that thing is really fooling people, you know.
You see, you go on extravagant promises because you are desperate, because you don't see anything working out for you. Shasta has become the biggest liability to all these candidates, you know. Tommy Descott, Titus Sprayville, all of them, they realize that the biggest liability in going into this election is their leader. Now, how do you even give yourself a prayer of a fighting chance? It's by going and making outlandish, extravagant promises. We'll give you free house lots. We'll give you house and we'll pay the mortgage for you. You know, they will go on and on. And don't expect it's gonna get back into the realm of reason and rationality. You know, it will grow more outlandish as we head closer to polling day, because they realize Shasta is not giving them a chance by what he's doing. The man is now going to make claims about St. Jude, you know, that it's a shell of, we've seen so much equipment moved into that place. You know, films have been shown, documentaries have been done, site visits that have been live, televised and shown, have shown. You're making people believe it's empty 80-year-old buildings they're bringing them to, you know?
Okay then, good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks very much.
Jagwan, maybe we can put up the flyer showing about the St. Jude opening. That will be on Sunday, where we're handing over. and perhaps Terry can just
Well, it's going to be a grand
voice over that.
day because, you know, Sunday coming 2 p.m. The handing over. And, you know, the Flabos are all up in, you know, a rage about that. Sheldon, that beats me. That baffles me. If you are patriotic solution, we should all be happy about the fact.
Especially from a functional point of view.
Yes.
Dr. Damian Graves told us, when was it? Just yesterday? That OKU is under pressure.
Yes.
We need to have St. Jude's up.
Yes, healthcare, that's important. And people are upset about the fact that St. Jude, I mean, this is very serious.
Yeah.
But Sunday we shall be there, 2 o'clock.
Okay, we have a caller on the WhatsApp line. Real Issues, you're on the air. Caller on the
Good day,
line,
gentlemen.
Just hold on for us a while. That other
Good
caller was
day
waiting
from
before
the
you. Hi,
People's
caller,
Republic
go
of
ahead.
Labrie.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Labrie.
Oh, yes, I'm very excited for Sunday. All roads lead to St. Jude.
Oh, yes.
Depuis l'issue, I come. Oh, yes. I waited for this opportunity for so long, and it's happening. The PM told them it's coming.
Yes.
I'm a mystery, they can't read me. You pass a couple answer. You ring me? Vraiment, des gens, ils ont cry foul. Yes. But last night I was really taken me aback when FP came up on the platform and he did what he did. I said, if these guys don't learn from what is happening in the past, it may happen at all. Tout Flabo fini.
We should
Good
call
day,
Lord
gentlemen. Looking forward to see you all on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. We should call Lord Help Me to perform that live for us. Pani Flabo. All right, we have another caller waiting. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi. Okay. I just want to say a huge thank you for my fellow St. Lucians. So just give them an update as to my health condition in Trinidad. Okay, I'm doing much better. Thanks be to God. Feeling a bit of pain, but I'm much better than I was. I just want to say thank you so much for the love, for the prayers that I have received from my fellow St. Lucians, even, you know, the calls, the well wishes from the Prime Minister, the Cabinet of Ministers. It truly means a lot to me, and this is what keeps me going and has kept me for the past few days that I am here. And hopefully by God's grace, the doctors have said to me that I'll be discharged on Saturday, God's willing, and as soon as I get the clearance to travel back home, I will be back home.
Is this Leandra?
A lot of things have happened, even threats I've received on my phone, and you know, messages and a lot of attacks. But however, as a servant, I am willing to put my head on the block for the people that I serve. When I stood up for the caregivers, I stood up for them, and it really doesn't matter to me what people have to say or what they intend to do. You know, as a servant of God, you have to be willing even to sacrifice your own life for people. So I am eternally grateful for the love that St. Lucians have shown to me and the prayers. So I just want to say that I am in good spirit, and I will definitely, by God's grace, be home shortly, because I have to be. Those last 2 days, I have to be on every single platform, starting from Liquid out. My voice has to be to ensure that this man never takes the coffee, because he doesn't deserve to live because in St. Lucia, he doesn't deserve to be at the help of our country. And I will reiterate that on every single platform that I get an opportunity. So God will give me the strength, and I will be back home. So I just want to say, St. Lucia, thank you. Thank you for standing with me. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support and your prayers. I cannot stay on the phone much because even talking gets me out of breath, but I just wanted to update you all as to my condition, that I am improving significantly. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to coming back home soon.
Right.
Leandro, let me tell you on behalf of us here in the studio and everybody listening. No, I said, let me tell you on behalf of us in the studio and everybody listening who follows the real issues, we absolutely love you. We love you, love you, love you. And we are praying for you and we want to see you fully recovered. And we know your strength is not with you because when you said the never you said there, you said it too gentle. Yeah. I know if you were within, your full capacity, that's not the way you would say never. And I think never, your never has become a special national, word right now, rallying call. And we absolutely love your sincerity and the way you poured out your heart. And, it was sad to see the picture of you lying down, hospitalized with the oxygen tubes and so on. But, such is the way of life. None of us knows where it takes us. But at least you have found the strength and you have the grace to give us this call today. We are really honored. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shelton.
Yes. Okay, my friend. God bless you and may He preserve and keep you so that you will be with us again. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, we have another call on the line. Real issues.
Good afternoon, gentlemen and viewers and listeners.
No, he's a fella as he hear Leandro, he just get jealous and he feel he have to get in on the act, a fella who abandoned us, but now he hear Leandro here, he want to come in. Booty, what's up now?
What's up, my brothers? It's actually, now that I've heard her, I really want to send personally, although I've written it already, love and strength to Leandro and her family. Wishing her all the best wishes in recovery. And, I want to rebuke and denounce the statements made online by people like, what's her name, the modest woman, about her illness. That's just disgusting and reprehensible. And one more thing, gentlemen. You tell last Monday, Philip, Sonnet Costa. It ring. See quoi? Goodbye, gentlemen.
Take care, Miguel. Thank you. Do we have another call?
So you want to talk now?
Yes, now,
Okay.
All right.
I'm putting you through. I'm putting you through the mic, okay? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I just got a call from Mr. Maxius Dixon. He's an ex-fireman, but Mr. Dixon is one of the workers who was let go by that company in Viewfort, Environmental Solutions, Inc., owned by one Mr. Frank Flood, which is, his own sister, Sarah Flood Bobre. So, was that... Hold on, I call on the landline. Just hold on. So, go ahead, Mr. Dixon.
Well, I'm just calling because I remember a few months ago, it's a few months now, I've been calling and I've been really working hard for all those, not only for myself, but even for the other workers. And it's really amazing how that thing has dragged for over a year now. Whereas the Constitution stated that you have 7 days to settle people who are being made redundant, and it's over 1 whole year. And after the last meeting we had last time, it was said to us that they were going to give this gentleman and his attorney 2 weeks to get back to us and settle matters. And up to now, he have not gotten that. Recently, the union itself they were trying to reach him, and they couldn't find him. They couldn't find the attorney for whatever reason, I do not know. So then I asked the union to refer back to the minister to see if they could have got in touch with them, which I'm not too sure if that has been done. But I received a call from a gentleman who told me now they're trying to reach the minister, who is on her way out, and I hope before she leaves, she would have time to do what she's supposed to do or what she promised to do. I hope she would have enough time, sufficient time, because elections is on the 1st. And, after elections, well, it's possible that she's not in again. But it's really sad, honestly, for the number of calls I've gotten over 1 year, Mr. Sheldon. These people have been calling me from Viewfort.
Because you are the shop steward, right?
Yes,
right.
I was for a moment. And these guys lose their jobs. Some of these guys, it has been so hard and difficult for these guys, Shelton, who have wives, who have children, who have loans, who have rent for over 1 year.
Okay. Now,
and what hurts, the guy said, nobody gets in touch with them and say nothing to them. If it is not me that have taken on my own, Shelton, off and on to be making calls. I used to take bus time after time, sometimes for a week, 4 times I'm going on to Viewfort back and forth.
All right, it's 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock already, Max. Max, it's 2 o'clock already. It's 2 o'clock already. We'll have to run. maybe we can continue this conversation another day. In fact, tomorrow, I can promise you, Terry won't be with me tomorrow because he's hosting another program. So perhaps I can call you and we can go into greater depth on that. It is a story that we should never allow to die. All right. Thank you very much for the call. It just came a little late on the program. All right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. So this is Mr. Maxius Dixon, the shop steward for those workers who were let go, made redundant in an environmental, whatever, recycling company owned by Sarah Flood's brother, Frank Flood. Sarah Flood has been the one representing him before the Labor Department and the minister, where they sent it for conciliation and so on.
From Buckinghamshire to Leandra Fields.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we should take the lotto break and perhaps come back on the other side of it for at least another 5 minutes, okay?
Yes.
Maybe I can go back to Max and another caller. So when the lotto kicks in, we'll take the break, and I'm telling you, we'll do a little extension on the other side. So to the DJs, Hershey and Smokey,
yes.
Those fellas, when you see 2 o'clock reaching, you see the way they come in the studio, they're not eating nice. They want to mash up the place with their, with their DJing and their music and so on. Just give us a little extra 5, okay? So for the time being, Terry, I see you gearing up to say goodbye.
So let's take another one.
Yeah, okay.
Leandra.
And there's also someone who wants to make a contribution towards Leandra's medical bills, and that person has given us permission to identify him. He is Mr. Bertram Jean. He's the husband of Senator Alison Jean, and the father, as we know, sadly, we have to reference of the late Botham Jean, who, for all the wrong reasons, passed into legend because of the way that his life ended. So Bertram Jean, and a noted calypso songwriter, the man who brought us My Government Working. And he has also got one out that says, never, 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 never. Lotto is on.
All right.
This day 25 were the Daily Grand 11, 12, 20, 21. Big 4, 8, 5, 7, 6. The Big 4 multi-X ball drawn is 2X. Pick 2, 8, 2. The Pick 2 multi-X ball drawn is 2X. One off, 9, 3, 3. Lucky 3, 9, 9, 5. The Lucky 3 multi-X ball drawn is FE.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back.
Everyone, thank you so very much for giving us a little more of the time of your day. I did ask for an extra 5 minutes, and I think it's because I thought that Mr. Bertram Jean wanted to be on the line, but Terry subsequently said that it was a message he sent indicating that he wanted to make a contribution towards the medical bills of Mrs. Leandra George Fields, who actually called us on the line there from Trinidad, where she was hospitalized with very severe life-threatening conditions that included pneumonia, and she said even then she can't talk much because her voice can't bear the strain, and we really continue to wish the very best for her. I was on the phone with ex-fireman Maxius Dixon. Let me see if I can get him, so at least we can give him 2 minutes to continue the point that he was making. Let me see if I can get him. If not, we're going to wrap things up. I thought it was because Bertram wanted to speak. It's difficult when you... Yeah. Hi, Max. I'm on the air, still live. I asked for a couple of minutes extra on the other side of our shut-off time because I felt I needed to do justice to let you finish the point that you were making. You okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay, go ahead. So you were saying the last time you all were with the minister and like nobody, they're showing contempt for the workers and you're the one who has to go forward and not just to represent them together with the main union reps, but also that it appears that the whole disdain thing it's diffused throughout the system, and that the workers are making threats, and you have to be trying to pacify them and quell them because they're threatening to do all kinds of things because now they are really in a state of anguish over the monies that have been outstanding for more than a year. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, for sure. And I had to remind those guys that if they do anything foolish, that they could be arrested, and whatever monies that they have to get, sometimes they get the monies and it wouldn't benefit them.
Yes.
So I had to try and hang in there, Shelton, for a long time to be talking to these guys. Please do not do anything foolish. Now, I understand frustration. The guys are frustrated. And the thing is, nobody would get to them and say a word to them. Imagine you could say the guys are out there in the wilderness wondering what is next for them. Will they ever get their monies? What is going to happen? Nobody is facing, nobody is calling a meeting or trying to meet the workers or ask the workers to come together to let them know where we are now, what is happening. Nothing at all. And honestly, there are times, Sheldon, I don't even take calls because it is amazing size for a day, the number of calls that I'm going to get. And most times my phone rings. It's always a worker, a worker, a worker. Now, to me, that is not proper. In St. Lucia, my point is, I am not going to put the government into it. But what I'm saying is, presently in St. Lucia, things has changed. Things has changed for the better. I will not say for the worse. But then when you have workers, 32 people, 31 people going through such a calamity, I want to say. Because you cannot tell me people work 14, 15, 16, 18 years with a company. They were made redundant. Some work for just 2 years, 6 years, not the same number of years. But what I'm saying is, when people have labored for a company, they have worked so hard. And out of the blues, and to make matters worse, the guys were working. The man knew that the workers will be made redundant. He came last moment, the very, I think maybe about a week or so, or two, when he knew in advance for months that the workers would be made redundant. He said nothing to nobody. And to make matters worse, when he was on his way out, I reminded him that you have 7 days to settle the workers. The guy said that he's aware. Within 3 to 4 days, the workers will be settled. And up to this day, nothing has happened, Shelton. Nothing. This man went, I don't know, he was on island, but you could swear he was out of state at one time. Nobody could have found him. And those who called him, it's almost like a disrespectful thing. He not giving no proper answer. Nothing like give the guy some hope that someday, yes, I'm going to pay you all and this is going to happen there. And right now they get to a state there now, it's even worse. I have to be most times, Shelton, rallying with the guys. And honestly, it's frustrating for, even it's worse for me now. I am being honest, maybe I'm different to the guys, I'm taking things differently. Because I expect and I know it's possible that it will come to me. But the situation that some guys are in with all those children and those rent and those loans, man, come on. Come on, some of the workers were threatened to be arrested because they were owing so many places, so many establishments that they were using their salaries to pay, make their contribution, and they could not do it again. And you think any company will want to sit, whether it's courts or whether it's which one, that would just sit all the time and just listen here, I'm not working, I may get the money. And a whole year, which company, which bank, which credit union will wait for those guys? Fast cash, some of the guys were going fast cash and all these lending institutions. And the guys are just there, they don't know what to say. So they went hiding because they could not meet their commitments, they could not pay, and all this kind of thing. And so much, a lot of strange things. The problem was with the workers with the NIS. It was another problem with them for NIS. Salaries are being paid, deductions are being made, the salary slip is showing, money is going to NIS, and sometimes NIC never get that money. And that went on for so long. And I'm not saying what people told me because I went to NIC myself to find out whether the guys' payments were up to date. And NIC told me a number of them were lapsing. I tell them you cannot hold the workers responsible per se because the salary was being deducted from their salaries. The guys thought all the time they had money going to NIC. I mean, this thing in St. Lucia in 2025, it's amazing that we letting these things just happen and keep happening like that and go through. And I'm being honest, like I said, I felt Labour Department slept on this thing. I felt there was a time to even the union had to put their feet down and see that something is being done for the workers. And that should never happen.
Okay.
Never happen. And I'm speaking to you now with a different tone of voice now because I am telling you, I am being honest with you. This man, this gentleman that is owing the workers, I know him personally, I know him very well. And I know his position he has taken in society and who he is. And I'm saying, maybe if it was somebody else, maybe I would have acted differently and there were actions I would have taken against this man. But he's a family man, and I know his whole family. And I told him once in a note that I sent to him on my phone, I messaged him and tell him, save himself the embarrassment. And I still held on. There was so much I could have said, I could have put out there. I didn't. And it's because he's not a single man. If he was a single man, there are some things I would have said and done. But he's a married man, he's a family man. He has wife, he has children. So I held back. Because I know what people say to me, oh Dixon, you should have known better. Why did you take that route? And I know, because his whole family know me. I knew that. I try avoiding that. So I carried the load, I took the burden hoping that man would have made a difference earlier than that. But you can't tell me a year, almost a year, 3 months now, Shelton. You know, and then look now, recently they tried to reach them and I reached his attorney. They told me they have not gotten him yet. They have not heard from them yet. Man, listen, that have to stop. And you see me, I am not going down to view for to the workers again. I'm making it clear. I will not go and speak to nobody again. Like I told them, gentlemen, I believe you all get your monies. That's how far I will go again. But you see me, I'm not paying. I'm not taking transportation. I'm not going to view for again. And I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because I'm frustrated. I'm tired of this. And I just pray to God that these guys do nothing foolish for them to get arrested. So I am praying and hoping that they remain focused, they be patient, and they wait. But pressure have to come from somewhere for this thing to be settled, and it's time that thing settled, Sheldon. And too many solutions meeting me all about and telling me, is that thing settled, is that thing settled? And when I tell them no, they tell me, Dixon, that's unbelievable. I cannot believe that problem is still going on in Beaufort.
Okay.
You know? And the authorities who are responsible, like I said, with Labor Department and others, man, these people slept on this thing too much.
Okay.
They slept on that too much.
All right. Let's hope that you're coming out and speaking about it will serve as some kind of impetus, provide some kind of stimulation for action that you feel has been lacking thus far. Thank you very much, Maxis Dixon. All right.
Sir.
And thank you
so much. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jaquan, for the extra time. And Real Issues wraps up now. And so Hershey and Smokey can come in and do their thing and not be too upset with me. Till tomorrow, same time, 12:30 to 2. For the Real Issues powered by Blue Waters, Shelton Daniel. For the final time, signing out.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30.